Welcome. I'm Patricia Maddalena, NLP Master Trainer and Integration Therapist, and I've been working within this field since 2004. I've worked with hundreds of people worldwide, and in all those years, I've uncovered that there is only one reason, and one reason only, why you are experiencing what you are experiencing right now. There is only one reason, and that's whether it's deep depression, anxiety, fear, loneliness, addiction, and I mean addiction of any kind, whether that's drugs or alcohol or sex addictions or food addictions, any kind of addiction that you could possibly think of. Any pain, any illness, any disease can all be tracked back to this one reason. And that one reason is a dissociation of the self, a separation. I like to call it fragmentation, a fragmentation of the self. And that happens to all of us, no matter who you are. So it can happen due to any kind of peak experience. So any kind of shaming or blaming can do it. Any shocking or traumatic experience can create fragmentation. Even good things like surprise birthday parties or roller coaster rides can create fragmentation. Now, birth is a big one. Our own birth and also birthing our babies can have a really direct impact throughout our entire lives. Now, this separation, this fragmentation it's simply a coping mechanism, and it's designed perfectly to keep you safe and alive at the time of trauma, when trauma occurred. But when that fear is over, we can still carry it with us. So we age, but we still carry that fragmented part. That fragmented part doesn't age. And when it's triggered, it will automatically play out the coping mechanism he or she used at the time the trauma first occurred, regardless of whether that behavior is beneficial for us or not. So yeah, it's the reason why we can be fully functioning adults, and then something will trigger us, like a life situation, something big, or an up-and-coming birth, or visiting relatives. It could be simply a song on the radio, a smell, a tone of voice, the way someone's standing, and we can suddenly start behaving as that scared child. Yeah, we could implode or explode, like that angry teenager sabotaging your life. We can start behaving in all sorts of ways that are detrimental to us and our families and our friends, but the adult part of ourselves can't stop it. So in my experience, seldom will a lost part or a fragmented younger self, seldom will that part return unguided. Therefore, on a grander scale, we have, if you think about that, we have had fragmentation handed down over generations of people fragmented, never putting themselves back to a place of wholeness. This is in the Western world I'm talking about now. We've named that. It's called epigenetics. And these one-to-ones are fast becoming known as epigenetic breakers, meaning the inner work that you do now frees up your ancestral line. Yeah, meaning your children and your grandchildren and your great-great-grandchildren won't have to play out the detrimental stories that have been handed down through your family line. So no matter however big they are, any addictions of any kind can be dissolved when we go back and reunite with that fragmented parts of your soul or your family's history of souls. Now, these fragmented cells, these younger cells, they are particular age, they're wearing particular clothes, they're living in certain environments, and they're frozen in time and space. And they're destined to live out those outdated modes of behavior that they used in order to please or appease another. That behavior that they used in order to protect themselves. So children shut down, they can decompartmentalize. Some implode, some explode, some become angry, anxious, scared. They can take on the responsibility of the entire world. They think it's their fault. Yeah. So any kind of shaming or blaming can do it. Shocking or traumatic experiences can cause separation and fragmentation. So, you know, you're not on your own. We all suffer this from one degree to another. You know, you can't have lived on this planet without some kind of fragmentation occurring. But how that impacts on your emotional, mental, and physical health, that will be unique to you. Okay, so most of us manage this really well, you know, yeah, to the outside world, we can be, you can be that model person, you can be that model parent, but inside, you're just about holding it all together. Yeah, it can be exhausting. It can start developing into sickness and pain, actual physical muscular pain. We can become very vulnerable, anxious, depressed. We can just be like simply stuck in life. Yeah, we want to do something more with our lives, but we're scared. We're lacking in confidence and self-esteem. So, you know, many people do lots of things to remedy that. They reach for the beers, the smokes, you know, they whack on the crap telly, they eat the crap food. Some are like super addicted to exercise, super addicted to dieting. They're thinking they're doing the healthy thing, but actually when you look beneath that, it's all protection, because they're not happy in their own skin. They're not really looking after themselves in a nourishing, loving way. Extreme behavior. They're all signs of a fragmented self. The lost inner parts, those younger selves, they'll be signaling to you in the only way they know how. Now, in the Western world, we haven't been taught to truly listen to our bodies, to truly listen to our emotions and our minds. And we just haven't been connecting the dots. That what we're suffering with day to day was created at some point in our lives. In order for that behavior to dissolve, we have to go back, we have to track back, and we need to reconnect with that lost part and release them from that traumatic experience. Yeah, release them from all of that, maturing them up to the here and now, to you, to your age. So I find that once those shouts make their way through the emotional and mental bodies and it comes into the physical and crystallizes there, then we have illness and disease. And at this point, you know, we reach out to medicine to help, and it's great. And for the most part, it works. And then sometimes it doesn't. And I find that when people quest and they come and use the integration process and they release the trauma that's attached to the illness, then it helps the medicines to work really quickly, because the root cause has been resolved. Yeah, there's no structure holding that illness or that disease or that life experience in place anymore. So people heal quicker, they transition quicker. So I suppose what I mean about the structure, so I've got this here, okay, so our different life experiences are held in place by all those fragmented parts of the self. So whatever life experience you're currently facing, that's challenging for you, that you want to change, whether that is illness or disease or mental health issues or relationship dramas or financial insecurities, that structure, that story that's inside this bottle, the financial insecurities, the mental health issues, the relationship dramas, they're held in place by fragmented parts of the self. So it could be a baby in the womb, a 3-month-old, a 1-year-old, several 4-year-olds, a couple of 9-year-olds, 13 to 15-year-olds and an 18-year-old, all holding, all those fragmented parts, that domino effects of life. this part then created this part that created this part, and holding that structure in place. That's the life experiencing that you're having. I don't trust my partner. You know, in relationships, I bounce from one relationship to another. I don't trust men. All come from a series of fragmented parts, a series of events throughout your life. But once you have successfully found and integrated with each one of those, made sense of it, connected with, but more important than anything else, fusing their soul energy, their life force with yours, the structure collapses and you create a different kind of life experience, one that you choose to create. Yeah, one that has a higher tone and a higher vibe to it, one that your adult self, because you're free of that, one that your adult self chooses to create. They're truly amazing, the integration processes. So if you would like more information about that, you can email me, you can use the contact form below, you can book a session, and I also recommend having a 30-minute free chat if you like, to really see what we can do to help release you from that same story that you keep creating over and over and over again. So if you'd like more info, book a session, use the contact form below, and I look forward to hearing from you.